Hello. Right, probably see. Bit of a new thing going on here. Um, so I decided I was going to get a couple more games for this headset. Uh, I have, as you can see, more than likely, very different sort of thing. Um, and there's this one and another one. So there's going to be two different things I'm testing today. Uh, Mainly just because, with I had my idea yesterday of doing like a more story-oriented kind of video. Something a bit different with the Blade and Sorcery stuff, with the Crystal Hunt. But if I just stream that over and over, it's going to get boring for everybody involved, including me. So I decided, well, I like the whole sword fighting thing. Um, I do like my historical weapons and whatnot. Uh, and essentially, I thought, you know what, I'll see if there's any more. And I came across these, and I've heard some good things about both of these. So this one I think is Swordsman, and the other one, um, obviously, I'll get to the title and everything, introduce that one when I get to that. Not aiming for a very long stream today. Just a quick test, get my honest opinion on these. Later on, might be doing something else with the lads, which I'm sure they'll be happy to hear. Not going to be on too late though. So yeah, figured we'd do this blind. So I haven't actually played either of these yet. So I've still got the tutorial to do. Um, but essentially, uh, what we're going to be doing is going through these, seeing how they feel, seeing what's what, kind of get an idea of, um, what sort of fun we can have playing these, and mix and match. So if I'm doing any more VR streams, I've still got Vader Immortal and the Saber Dojo to go back to, but I wanted something else as well. So I didn't want to be doing just those two over and over again. So I figured I'll test these out, and why not document that process in some way, shape, or form. At the very least, it'll be fun to look back on, seeing how completely useless or terrible I am in this first one, and how potentially more or less terrible I am later on. Um, but either way, let's jump right into this one. So I believe this one's Swordsman, or Swordsman VR. So just very quickly move that so that I'm not. Ooh, we have a black screen. Um, and hoping this is part of the experience and not just a weird. Am I hearing noises? There's yeah. Oh, okay. Dope. We're getting some lag right off the bat, but it seems to have loaded. Okie dokie. So yeah, it is swordsman. I'll show you the basics. Approach every fight like a real duel. Keep a safe distance. Press the. You can use the pause button to read your current tutorial step instructions at any time. Let's see. Settings. Uh, what is this? I might set these to toggle, um, just so I'm not having to hold the trigger button, or the thingy button, whatever you call it. Two-handed sword, auto dominant hand, rotation smooth. And we're going to show the HP. We'll go. I'll keep it at value for now. 5'8". Fuck off. I'm not 5'8". 5'11" is gonna be. There we go. Rotation intensity. Well, we've got smooth rotation turned on, so let's go to 50 just to. Oh, right, okay. Comparison sheet, fuck off. So we can go back. Let's continue this. Movement. Well, yeah, I had a feeling. So we've got to walk 30 feet. There, that did not seem like 30 feet. Do we have any weapons or anything? Okie dokie. Telekinesis. Alright, okay, cool. So, again, the toggle actually works really nice. Is it on the back? Yes. So, continue. Let's try some combat. Where is this? Okie dokie. He's in my face. Okie dokie. I I can, kind of. I have no idea how responsive this guy is going to be yet. Obviously, when we get into the very responsive, even um, okay, might be best to one-hand this for now. I'm guessing now I've got to do both. Chronokinesis, parry, block the enemy, and watch the slowdown each time you parry. There's a chance for you to enter this chronokinesis. Okay. Bugger off. Oh, like that. Still getting used to using such a small space. Ah, he's trying to fan me, the bastard. Okay. I like trying to keep my distance as opposed to parrying that. So that is, so you can actually accidentally stab yourself with the enemy weapon then. Ooh! Give me. Oh, so can I retrieve? Th that would be nice. Ah! Oh, oh, there's a, I even say there's a wall there, but yeah, it needs to be a ranged attack, mate. So how's about, that is a nice, oh, it's the sword from Blade and Sorcery. Kind of, ish. So I've got a decap, or a can decap. What is going on with his head? Can I holster this? This is kind of real arena match. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Well, this is kind of fun already. What is going on? Everything's vibrating. I don't like it. Yeah, no, figured I'd test this. So far, it seems pretty nice. Sorry if I'm not talking as much. So we'll see what happens when we get into the real thing. Um, Probably gonna die an awful lot. Spread your arms and press both grips. Do I have a... I do not have a weapon. Yes, I do. Haha. Right. Okay, okay. My kick? Where's my kick? Asshole. Okay, okay. This kind of feels nice from like a dueling perspective. Avoid the sword though. I'm dead. Okay, let's retry that. But it does feel nice from a dueling perspective. Um, oh, so there's the HP. Right, okay. I'm just kind of trying to get a nice stance going. Let's hey, you better stop trying to poke at me like that, boy. I don't know what that means. Hit my hand. My hand is armored. Right. I kind of want this one. This feels a little lighter. Oh, can I disarm? Yep. Well, that counts. So this does feel nice. This does feel nice. Um, it's a bit more responsive, a bit more anticipatory. You know, like a Blade and Sorcery is kind of the AI is a little bit. I'm not going to say full on jank, but because it's not. I mean, they're not terrible. They could be much better, obviously. For I just felt vibration somewhere. What the fuck? But you know, it's these guys feel a bit more like you're actually facing off against somebody who's trying to make, you know, decisions, choices in terms of where to hack and slash at you, and it makes it feel a bit more, um, uh, well, a bit. I won't necessarily say realistic because I mean I myself have never been in a proper sword fight, whether it be for tournaments or for fun. Uh, I like the disarm. I like, but yeah. So this feels kind of nice. I like trying to bait him as well. Ow! He's baiting me instead. Can I dual wield? I know I've got a sword stashed away somewhere, but I can, but it's kind of useless. Well, maybe not useless in general. I'm useless doing it. But yeah. So oh, we've got a buckler this time. This is going to be kind of fun. But yeah, no, it feels a bit more like you know you're actually having to make some decisions on which opponents you're facing, who you're going to try and you know stab at next. And I did enable like the armor physics, so unlike in Blade and Sorcery with the piercing mod, I mean I know it kind of makes you feel a bit more powerful, just stabbing through everybody, but I kind of wanted that experience of maybe you know both opponents are actually trying to you know find openings openings in combat. So I'm wondering if I because I know that in this game I've heard or and I've seen that you can actually use your fists if you really want to. So I'm wondering if I can close the distance quick enough and give him a good old. Oh, I might need to try that a bit differently next time. But yeah, I'm wondering Ooh, we've got a two-handed sword there. I might stash this at some point once I've killed this geezer. Go for the reach advantage. Oh, because see, this is the thing. Like a lot of people talk about in actual sword combat, the idea of keeping out of range, force an opening, and then get in there. And it is especially nice having to do this sort of thing without the risk of, smacking your fingers, I suppose. Okay. 16, I need to recover. This does feel nice. I do like this. I've said it a few times already, but I will keep saying it. It is quite nice. Just, it might not be very or as entertaining. Obviously, the other game I've got lined up to test today might be a little more exciting in terms of doing things, but in terms of dueling, like sword combat like this, it might be quite good. And again, having that sort of interest there in doing this sort of thing, it's always been something I've wanted to kind of mess around with, whether it be swords, lightsabers, whatever. Um, oh, he likes to go for his overhands, which I mean, I can kind of understand. I did. I mean, everybody's. I blocked. Maybe he hit my hand. I don't know, but that was a little weird. Oh, why am I trying to block that? Right. Okay, so we've only got one to worry about. So again, I really do like these toggles. This is a bit wobbly for me, but I guess it's like the physics, like the weight element of it. But I'm gonna need to disengage there. I wonder if I can just kind of snap. And I'm so the reach advantage is nice, but for me personally, it might be good to use the smaller sword to get in a bit closer, like this, so I can. Okay, that I'm dead. It's good to try and figure this shit out, get everything sorted. And again, I mean, I decided to do this blind, so I don't suppose we could. Oh, I've got a shield. Right, okay. Well, that was a kick then. I thought I might have. Ah, does that does that have a recharge? The fuck? Like, be nice to have like maybe a stamina meter or something if that does have a recharge on it. Why was that vibrating? Because if I can. Okay, no. See, I'm still. Oh, now it kicks. Jesus, fuck me, Christ. Why does that feel less responsive than it was before? What the fuck? I kind of like and don't like the whole darkening of the screen. It gives you an idea of the hit points, but I'd prefer if I could turn that off, or at least not as intense, maybe. Let's see if I can do a bit of a maneuver here. Oh, gonna try maybe like that over the shield. This guy's just fucking waiting. But I want to take this prick out first. Stay there now. Fish flapped. Look at that with the. Oh, I know that this wasn't very useful last time. Oh, give me that. Oh, nice shield. Yeah, so the shield combo does work kind of nicely. Oh shit. Okay. You back fuck off, son. Right in the visor, Jesus. So it's definitely and again, we like that. We like that. Alright, there we go. Awesome. So let's see what we can do in the menu. Because obviously that was a bit of an arena fight. Uh, you know, there's a bit of extra latency from the looks on the casting thing. I don't know exactly what that's about. I'm hoping that the audio is synced up, at least. Because, I mean, that would be kind of annoying if the audio wasn't synced up properly. I will have to watch that back. Who the fuck are you? I like them daggers. Last time I was in Blade and Sorcery, I got a couple of them. Who are you? What are you reading? Random weird shit. Oh, bit of lag. Uh, fair enough. Like I say, I will have to watch. Cat, please let me pet the cat. Please let me stroke the cat. Who the fuck are you? Blacksmith? Knight? Sir Knight? Uh, can you? Oh, I can't slap him in the face. Rabbit. Please let me. Oh, no, it's just, um, no idea if I've got any money for this blacksmith. Uh, ah, what is that? I don't know. It's a brand new game for me right here. I don't think can you tell? Welcome to Swordsman. Treat every fight like a real duel. Arms flailing will guarantee your death. Explore this room to find your the three golden floating markers there. You'll find and meet your guides. They have much to offer. Okay, I've already got this. I am not going to be messing with that though, because it is mixed reality. Um, I personally don't much like the idea of flashing my living room everywhere. Skill shop. Let's go. Read. Jesus Christ. Taekwondo. What is that? Astrokinesis. Which boss weapons charge up for special attacks by harnessing the power of the cosmos itself. Uh, okay. See if I upgrade my strength. Yes, because I don't want to. I can't. Okay, cool. Enchantment. Um, so there's that one, and what's this? Who the fuck are you? And this one over here, armorer. Okay, light armor. Well, that's all we can really afford right now, by the looks. Let's go to the archery range. Let's. Can I? Okay, okay. This is interesting. This is new and interesting. Um, yeah, we'll do a bit of this. Maybe have another session in the arena. You know, fighting some people. Um, yeah, that's crossbows. Oh, that was absolutely shocking. That was two. Yeah. I always like to try and get the measure of the archery stuff in these games because obviously pulling it further back means more power, means you don't have to aim it upwards as much. But obviously, okay, that one didn't have enough power. I also, for whatever reason, tend to use a reverse draw instead of the standard draw that you see. Hang on a minute, that was on the other side a second ago. Yeah, so you can actually just pick your draw. It is fairly okay. Let's turn the speed down so that we can actually see about hitting this target like that. Obviously, it doesn't really count if it's not moving, but getting the measure of it all, seeing what's what. Okay, so definitely there is like a sweet spot there, and you can draw like speed draw type technique maybe. I don't know. I'm not an expert. There have been people that have suggested that sort of thing for historical bows, but that that was all the way back. Okay, so if I yeah, I'm trying to see if there is a point where I can hold this out, just hold it out normally like that, and reliably get on this target. Because at that point, obviously we can uh, decrease this as well. It's probably a cheating a little bit, but it gives us maybe an idea of how this shoots. So I'd say this, the outside, may be a little better for more accurate shots with this, at least. Obviously, again, this distance really isn't uh, that good in terms of trying to. Oh, what is that? 'Cause I know that this obviously different bows throughout history, different types of bows will have different. Why do I have? Maybe because I picked that up, I have bolts now. Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be a little better with this. Oh, you can proper like that's kind of nice. See, that is nice to play with. Uh, let's see. If I just look at Wrath. See, I don't like the fact that the bolts are sticking out. If I go all the way to 30 odd meters, see what happens. Oh shit. Again. Not even hit. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to pick out a few of these. Fucking hell, that just goes. It is a bit difficult to. There we go. To see. Oh, hey ho. Plus, there's the like the lack of weight on that thing. There's no like reaction, so if you end up jerking upwards at all, it will just go off. But I mean, don't get me wrong, but there's no real excuse for being a shit shot. I'm not saying. What the fuck? They keep vibrating. Oh, it's just the range of the holster. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Right, so this, I don't know. Obviously, that's like what you'd say, what maybe a longbow. This, I don't know if you'd consider it a recurve or a warbird, but it's definitely looks like it's got less power in it than the longbow, just based on the draw. So if I just draw this all the way, yeah, that was not full draw. Was, but it was a bit shit. I have fired bows in real life. I would not consider myself an archer though, not by a long shot. I've had some decent shots in the past, but again, it's one of those. It is very different, but it's also one of those things. Again, there's no um, excuse for being a shit shot. One thing I might do, just very briefly, while this is loading, like I say, I'll probably see about going into the arena again, seeing what the shtick is, because I have heard that perhaps there's some sort of, I won't necessarily maybe say a story on it, but I have heard that there is some other stuff, boss fights and shit that you can do. Um, but I am just gonna very quickly see what the audio is like on this because there does appear to be like a delay almost on the OBS preview and even on my casting um, screen. But obviously the audio is responding, like the waveform is responding. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna mute myself real quick. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and basically use this as a way of like testing this. So I'm gonna be left, right, left, right, left, right. Where I can see if it's synced up or not. So I'm watching that back now. Oh, hand's just dangling in front of my face. Yeah, there is a delay. Very big delay actually. Um, let's see if I can sort this out. Just give me 1 second. I think I may have fixed the issue. Let's have a look. Scene. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Well, let's just wait for my phone to catch up a little bit. Because there's still obviously a delay from the streaming thing. Oh, it's starting now. Let's have a look. It seems to have fixed itself on my. Yeah, it's fixed itself. Bloody hell. Right, that was kind of annoying because that entire time the audio is miles out. But I'm glad I spotted that and was able to fix it. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's just get out of that. Oh, there's a campaign. So let's do a bit of the campaign then, shall we? Um, Number one, I'm guessing these are going to be, like arena type things where you go from fight to fight. Let's have a look. But I feel like this game is probably going to be more. I wouldn't say like technical skill in terms of actual swordsmanship, because I'm sure that plenty of genuine actual swordsmen have maybe played this or would play this and find faults with it. Excuse me, which is more than fine, you know. Um, but it's definitely a lot more technically minded, at least, than your, blade and sorcery swinging shit about. Like they said, swinging it about is. I'm just checking to see if that's a is a road that leads to death, apparently. So let's try not to do that. Um, oh, I did. I did. Yep, that's English. I did. I did it. I have did it. Um, right. Okay. Let's try. Okay, that I don't know what happened there. It would not respond. Um, but yeah, so far this definitely feels like the kind of game you'd probably want to play if you wanted to. I wouldn't necessarily say test your skill necessarily, but definitely something a bit more challenging in terms of the technical aspects of. I mean, he's just swinging a bit wild there, but I swear I could have hit there, but it didn't. Click, please? Yeah, no, maybe. let's use this. Ow, you bugger. That wasn't very nice, was it? I'm just going to recover my HP. Hmm. Um, I don't want to push the sword into my face, thank you very much. Let's see if I can get... I know I tried this last time and it didn't really work very well. I'm going to try some like maneuvers like he's attempting to do there. It may be worth perhaps using my other sword for this because it's a bit more nimble. I can use this to maybe try and parry if I can. Fair enough. Let's use this instead. Again, a bit more nimble. Oh, bloody hell, spawn right in front of me, what are you? Alright, okay, let's try this. Wow. Okay. Ah. Okay, that was a bit of a risk. But, whew, as long as we can recover. There we go. Very nice, very nice. I might actually just dual wield the shorter ones because I don't have as much reach as that one. But get into a bit of trouble there. You know what, actually? Oh. Cover. Got around the blade there. Didn't look as clean, but that one didn't work as well. But the idea was I wanted to try and sort of bait him a little bit into one of those strikes, move out of reach. Oh, bloody hell, hit my hand. The fucker. Maybe I can, if I like try and combine these, I might be able to like do a lunge, like a proper lunge. But by the looks, I can't really like push his blade offline. You know, like in a fight, I might be able to like I can kind of do it like that, but you can't really go into like a proper bind in any sense. You can't really get any like bite on that. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I can definitely see myself doing this more in my like spare time, especially like with reaction time type stuff. It's quite nice. Obviously, at the moment, I'm just trying to work on parrying a little bit. So I'm not. I know he's on like a gnat's bollock worth of health at the minute, but that just means that if I get into some dire trouble, I should be able to just end the fight quickly. But oh, I like this. Maybe not. Anyway, he says. Well, see, that's the thing that annoys me because I don't know if it registers very well on the stream, but it looks as though like the sword goes into like the kind of parry position, but the blade comes through and gets stuck here, like pointing at me, even though I've got a guard up. Like obviously there's ways of doing that where you maybe go like under. Like you can see him trying to go around my blade, but I, you know, it's one of those. It's like I want to try and this side is very open, but I feel like that's kind of deliberate, obviously, in the just the design of the game, really. You know, with the sort of fighting style that they're going for, which looks to a novice, I suppose it looks very much like some sort of fencing. I don't know in reality what they're going for. If it was specifically something, you know, that they had in mind. Um, but I'd like to maybe try and get for more parity. The other thing is, if I'm just out of range and I barely like this, I can, you know, like the blade like slips, sword slips off the end of the blade and can reposition. So that's kind of nice, but and I can, because I might need to half sword to get into that gap in his armor. Especially if I keep dancing around him like this, he might get dizzy and. Okay, never mind, I'm dead. It would have been a neat idea, but obviously it's a bit different. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll see how this goes because I should be able to finish at least this. I need to stop being stupid now. I need to kind of see what the telegraphs are for this. Even if I don't make contact with the blade like that, I want to at least make sure that my blade is in the right position. Because I'd like to be able to like just kind of smack at the blade, you know, like if he's coming for a down low, I'd like to be able to like smack that away. So by the looks, there is like a somewhat of a telegraph going on, but it is quite quick. It is kind of bloody useless, if you ask me. It's not very responsive. I just see the foot come up there. Oh. Yeah, sure, mate. You. Oh. Right. Oh. Yeah, well, less talking in this one, a lot more focus, I'd say. Which is nice, but see if I can whack him upside the head. I don't know why the fuck I said it like that. Oh, that was nice. What the? What? My hand just twizzled. Right. Again, maybe finish this off, and so I don't know how many opponents are in this first one, but should give us a nice, you know. You're out of range, you silly goose. Right, this one. See if we can use this. Oh, we dodged. Oh, oh. Had me leaning back there. Jesus. This guy is a little better than the last one. Kind of wanted this bit of a reach advantage here, but obviously the issue is it keeps him a bit too far away from me. which I don't necessarily mind, but I want to be able to close that distance and potentially end the fight if I need to. I just really hope that I don't get fucking 2 or 3 of them spawning at once. So what I'm going to do is very quickly trying to see if there was any points around the leg area, around the hips, that I could maybe get the point of the sword into. Um, let's see. Come on then, big boy. Let's have at you. Bloody hell. See, I had the sword down there, but it still knocked the blade away. I don't know whether that's because it's a two-handed sword or what, but even this one, it moves a lot. Kinda don't like that. But, you know, it's one of those things, you've got to make it interesting somehow, and being able to move the blade in a way makes sure that you can actually, you know, have a bit more fun than just hacking and slashing. Yeah, that was annoying. Right, so let's see here. Similar kind of opponent. A lot of grunting going on, a lot of weirdness here. Yeah, I know a lot of people probably. I'm gonna take that opportunity. Yeah, I don't care. Right, okay, that's over. Yay! We're gonna go back to menu. We're gonna go back to menu. So that's that seems like it could be a fair bit of fun. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the other game now. So if I just go to back soon, oh, we're gonna load up the other game now, which I've heard a fair bit about, and hopefully it's a bit more entertaining. In the sense of, you know, it's it's one of those instead of just kind of hearing me huff and puff and you know it's a bit more, oh, this is kind of cool sort of thing. Battle Talent is what I'm going to be playing next. So uh, so apparently the boundary may be off in this app. There's no boundary apparently. That gives me a lot of confidence. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to allow it to access the microphone because it is muted. Uh, I'm going to allow it to access it, but the microphone will remain muted. Be careful of your surroundings. Calibrate both. Let's see. I believe that alarm from yesterday is going off. I well, because I'm hearing vibration. I know it's not my phone. Um, Okie dokie. So we're just going to set up some settings here. I know you can't really see, so I will switch this back. So let's go smooth because I really don't like the snap. I don't know what this is, what it means. I guess we will find out. Brutal level. Oh, obviously we're gonna keep that high. I'm not gonna fuck with those at all. I'm not gonna change those. We're gonna see what these mean. The easy swing. Um, whoa, Jesus. So there is a sandbox. Um, and we're not gonna go into mixed reality. But we are going to. Oh, there's a multiplayer. So anyone else? Oh, that's locked. Ooh, what's this? So what we're gonna do is we are going to essentially either do this or this. We're gonna go into the sandbox first, just to see, get a grips with everything else. Use that kind of like a tutorial, similar to the well, tutorial. Oh, look at this.
Use the right joystick to rotate. Use the left joystick and wave
I am
your arms
apparently either really tall or like what the hell? Is there a? No, that is there a? Oh, so there is a jump. That's a kick. I wonder if that was the same in the other one, and I'm just pressing this like a dumbass. But that's looks like a dash. So similar to Blade and Sorcery, this one is ooh, can I grab shit? No, I can't. Okay. This one looks very interesting. I'd probably say I might end up doing the challenge mode on this one. Obviously, depending on how we get the combat, like how good this is.
Some weapons have ability. Point your finger at the weapon to read the description.
Okay. Yep.
Point your finger to the target, then press grip to summon. Destroy all mortals using your weapon's ability.
Okay. So all weapons ability. Many weapons can be triggered. Skill by pressing the trigger. So this one looks like it extends the slicing.
Repair your weapon by putting it into your holster.
Oh, I like that.
Lock the attack.
I might need to adjust the height on this because it's not. Can I? Where's the settings? Can I go into settings anywhere? Is there a pause menu? Oh, shit, I know. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out the bloody settings here, man.
Turn your head to look at your left palm. Touch the wall to open system panel. Then leave.
We're gonna put that on the back. Yeah. Sorry, that's right. See if we can figure this out. Oh. Oh. Settings. See. I only managed to see that because of this. Head to look at your left palm. In addition to the HP bar, you can also see an orb. This is annoying. So what we're going to do is, if we just do that, crouch a little bit, so that our feet are firmly on the ground. This is really annoying because it's like I am not. Oh my days. So you know what? Actually, what we're going to do is if we. So that did not seem to have solved the problem. It made it a bit worse. I am floating for some fucking. I don't know what to do. This is a little annoying, the settings thing. Whoa. What the? Didn't mean to summon that. Can I? If I do this. So, I don't know what. Arm length is fine. This is weird because I'm still floating. Maybe that's just how it is. I have no idea what. I don't know what's going on with that, but so. Easy swing. Guessing. Oh, there might have been. Oh, okay, I think I figured out where this gunblade thing came from. Damn. That was kind of cool. This does not seem to have any sort of thing. Lower your head and look. I suppose I should probably read this. This time you can also see an orb. Oh, so we're going to go to the talent temple. Fuck that right now. What we're going to do is we are going. That is nice. So yeah, I just spent a long time trying to figure that out, and we're gonna stick with the whole floaty feet thing. I don't know. Why does that look like Daedric? Why does this look like Daedric script? I think it is Daedric script. I didn't know I was in Skyrim. Was it? No, it wasn't. But yeah, so that's the. Okay, that makes sense. What else do we have here? What is this? Oh, that is this. What in the actual? Holy! You know what? I'm gonna put Excalibur there, shall we? That is sick. This is quite like This feels a bit more responsive. This feels responsive, but it kind of does appear to have a kind of weight to it almost. Obviously, I know that's a bit. Can I just? Oh, I can. That is sick. Okay, and I can half sort this. I think that was me being a dick and hurting myself there. I go castle, teleport to the castle. This I can probably definitely see me. Oh, look at that!
This is
Is
a
he?
deserted training castle. You can use the cheat menu to
Okay.
make your own scenarios. Or travel to any level.
That's down.
Limits. Have fun.
Well, this is kind of nice. Oh, I don't have my things. I'm guessing. What is this? Oh fuck. So this is right. Okay. So I'm guessing this is the cheat menu. Weapon. Weapon. Oh, we need to get Excalibur. Is that shit? What is this? Demon Flame Greatsword. What is that? Dancing Knives. What the fuck? Is that a fucking Baldur? Oh no. I suppose. Oh, there's more. Oh. So first things first. Excalibur, come here. Second thing is second. We're going to. We're gonna do this. What is this? Iron glove. Oh, there's guns and shit. Flying sword. Alright, let's do that. Those basically Wolverine claws. That is nice. What is that? Demon what? Demon saber. That does not look like a. Oh wait, maybe it is. Sax. Scythe of Doom. Dragon what? Oh, glaive. Spear of Return. Okie dokie. We're just having a look at the minute. We're having a look at what the fuck is going on here. I would laugh if I saw lightsabers. Lightsabers would be funny. I wonder. Wind. Templar. Viking. Yes, please. Love a good Viking sword. I would appreciate the floating to fuck off, but fireball. It's mind control. Mind control? What the fuck? Thunder. It's got to be thunder. I'm sorry. I. So what does that? What? An ancient sword that has lost its energy. It looks like it will fall apart any moment. Will it though? Here's the question. On guard. Okay. 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 Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that is or does or whatever, but let's have a look at maybe. Oh, that spear looked nice. Maybe. Let's have a look at that. It's basically just. Okay. Can be easily thrown, piercing enemies and stabbing itself into the surrounding environment. Hold down the trigger to make the spear phantom. So it's basically just Gungnir. The Gungnir spear from God of War. Uh, can I? It says it can be thrown, but that is not throwing very well. I've got to say, unless you meant to throw it like an idiot. Right. So I'm trying to figure this shit out. Okay. This is very strange. I don't really expect. There's a lot of me just trying to figure this shit out. But you know, hey, I mean, I do like this though. Let's see. So we don't have as much in terms of our, you know, like the mod menu type. Well, mod menu, the kind of thing that we'd expect from Blade of Sorcery. But then again, I think that's probably a good thing. Right part. Video left hand side. So what we're gonna try and let's see if we can find some like mods, right? Let's see. Weapon mods. Okay, so we do have a mod menu. I've got to. I have to. I'm really sorry. I need to see. I think you know where this is going. Okay, okay. Let's see. Obviously, very simple kind of aesthetic. Um, so, what about what the holy feck is that? Oh, so it like goes on your your hand thing. So, okay. What we're gonna do, because this is kind of obviously the very. I'm assuming it'd be quite limited in terms of what you can actually. I don't know if this is. You have to subscribe. You do have to subscribe. Okay. All right. So if we go back then. Gonna have to probably wait for the mod menu to. Okay, okay, we're gonna have to spawn some people in there. Actually, we're gonna keep that in there. This is gonna be quite interesting, I think. Let's see. So if we go into cheating, where is it? Save this to a character. We're just going to idle maybe. Kind of see what happens. Can I? Ah, you bastard. Okay. Nice. Yeah, this is gonna be. Oh, okay, like, so you have to hold it. Right. Okay. So here's what we're gonna put that back. We're going to spawn a bunch of these, and that back in there. Okay. Okay. Come on. Okay. Now then. Ouch. I don't know what that. Oh, it was a brush. How the fuck? Right. This is kind of annoying. The whole mana thing, being out of mana so quickly. Oh, I'm burning. Right. Okay. So I'm kind of glad I've done the sandbox thing, because this kind of prepares me for a bunch of shit. Apparently there's a lot of like physics-based stuff in this. Why are you going that low, my friend? Who knows? But yeah, this is. I'm gonna try and get out of this area maybe. Do a different, or maybe just go kind of somewhere else, maybe down here, just to kind of get out of the whole atmosphere. You know, it's nice, but you know, I mean, I don't want to stay in one place and stuff get boring. Can I? I can kind of. But right, so then so what we're gonna do? Just and I please just fucking. He's. So I'm guessing. I want to test this. Oh, okay. Just why not? I don't know. I think I might have to touch them or something. Okay. Right. No, see, this is obviously going to be quite different. Not what I'm used to. And I'm still trying to figure this out. Okay, why do I keep summoning the fire ones? Get off me sword, you devil. What was that? Oh, was it like a... Alright, cool. Anyway, let's try and do something with this then, shall we? I don't know exactly how long I've been on each of these, but if I go to medium, maybe. Let's see. So yeah, oh, pardon me. Although this has been less talking from me, which is weird. So let's see what you do. Okay, so it looks like poison type. So by the looks, this is the thing that I was reading about. This is the video type stuff I was watching before. What had happened is, can't even fucking speak. Essentially, what I was seeing before was that these dungeons are procedural, and they are different every term. You're going to have different experiences doing each one of these, and obviously you've got different enemies and whatnot. But yeah, I genuinely don't know what to expect from any of these, and so far I think it's definitely something that looks like it might be fun, especially these challenge modes. There's other aspects of this that I'm guessing will be very different later on. What the fuck is this? Okay, I don't know. I'm trying to read these and do this stuff at the same time, but it's very weird. Obviously, getting used to different games at the moment. I do like the other one. I do like this. This one's a bit more confused. Well, I won't say confusing, but I've definitely had the whole mod manager menu thing. You know, cheat type. The fuck, cheat type stuff available. That okay. This okay. This is going to be fun. I think. I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, it's like a warning thing. It's telling me which direction it's coming from. Okay. Don't know what that is. Nice. Right. This could get interesting. Okay. 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 Let me get a little shit. I knocked his jaw off. Ow. You look bigger than your friend. Get fucked. See, obviously this game probably won't bring out as sadistic a streak in me as Blade and Sorcery does. Okay. That's the other thing about this. You know, the whole holster system for keeping weapons. Okay. Keeping weapons. Do I have a kit? I think I have a kit. You know, keeping broken weapons charged and shit. Again, I don't know why I'm floating. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Oh, okay, so there's like 3 different like levels to it. All right. Okay. Yes. Oh, was that your soul, buddy? So that was weird. That's it. I knew there was going to be one of you bastards coming from that direction. Oh my god. Oh, what the f... Okay. Hold on to that for me, please. I was trying to grab this. And, I don't want to... There we go. I was trying to grab this, and I must have grabbed the other one. And it's just fucking... It's sending flying. Right, okay. What's this? Magic attack up. Okay. I mean, I don't exactly know what the benefit is at the moment, because I've not really used any magic stuff yet. Do I still have my... Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, this should be fun. Oh! Oh! Okay, okay. You fucking wait a second, please. Okay. Right then. This isn't going to be funny. So we're just going to finish this off and then maybe end it there. I'm probably going to have a play around with these more in my spare time. Before doing anything else with them. But this is multiplayer. So I have a feeling it could be a lot of fun with other people as well. But we'll see. Skull. How many shots does this have? I'm guessing until your mana runs out. I'm assuming. That is brutal. Okay, yeah, so it is until the mana runs out. Right. Ah. Did that just fucking disappear? I think that just disappeared. Either that or I just used it all up. You know, like when it says put it in the holster thing. Yep. Yeah, come on, you bugger. Ow, you bitch. Can I grab people? Yep, I can. Don't know why I didn't try that sooner. Can I pick you up? I can't. Look at the ears flopping. Anyway, so I cannot remember. I think it's that way we need to go. We'll see. Or maybe came in from this way. I need to go that way. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna just assume some shit. And yeah, no. But yeah, this is kind of very funny to see. Very funny to kind of get to grips with. Because obviously, every time you play a new game, you've got to kind of figure some shit out. Oh, look at the skellies. Okay. So, what the fuck? I don't necessarily have any magic stuff enabled right now, I don't think. Fuck off. Right, so. Whoa. Ah. Ah. Wow. Did you drop a bloody pot on me, Ed? You bugger. What's this? Range attack is up. Fuck off. I'm going to increase my health. Why not? I mean, that should have been the last one. I have no idea, unless this is the, like... Okay. Okay. Come on then. Yeah. Decap. Ah. This is a very, very different game from what I'm used to. Not saying it's bad. It is definitely an interesting experience. Oh, fuck. Okay. Whee. Okay, so that's I still need to get used to the controls and stuff for this game because this is oh, okay, there's a boss fight, so we're gonna do this. See what happens. Right. Shit. Oh yeah. Ah, bloody. Oh. Some reach on that. Oh, the wall there. Don't want to be smashing the wall. Okay. Forget. See, I'm trying not to smack this wall. Ah, what's down here? Oh, bleed dagger. Ah, you. Can I grab you? What is that? Get off. Sorry. Thunder. Fuck off. That one. Okay. Right. This is very different. Um. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll probably do maybe the adventure style stuff on this one more often. Because this the dungeon crawling aspect is, you know, you've got it's very similar to your like blade and sorcery style. Ooh. Ow. But you know, it's very similar to that. So we might see what the adventure stuff looks like. No idea really what is going to be happening very much here with this one. Same with the other one. I'll probably fiddle with them more in my spare time. Um, see what happens really, because they do seem like they might be a bit interesting in terms of that sort of thing. But let's see. Let's see. If we go realms, let's go to a. Oh, let's go to. Well, this menu is not the best. Not the best menu. Some of the mechanics are nice. Some of the stuff is nice, but is a bit weird. I've got to say. So I feel like this or this. So if I go on this, I'm gonna maybe try and see what the deal is with this first. Oh,
Oh, your soul seems to be connected through a
okay.
machine. No wonder my ritual can teleport you here. This is the Talent Temple. This used to be a place where the heroes practiced until. And I
Okay.
am the guardian here. Now that the world is shrouded in darkness, I need you to reactivate
Okay,
the
big floaty
power of
man.
the temple. Come over to the stone bridge
Okay.
now.
Oh, so this is very much. Ah, fuck off.
This tablet will show your talent. To unlock these abilities requires experience points. The number is just above your health bar.
Okay.
Gaining experience points requires going through brutal battles. After activating the ability,
Is that-
it will also be effective in other realms. Get ready before you get into battle.
What the hell? I want to see what that was. Anyway, okay. So by the looks.
This tablet will show you the areas you can go to. Now you need to go deep into these areas to find the lost artifact. And reactivate the power of the temple.
Maybe?
Everything except the artifact will not be brought back. Go ahead, and I'll teleport back before getting a fatal attack.
Okay, so if I just do this, I'm trying to see if I sit down and I just mess with this a little bit. So that should be calibrated for me sitting down. As you can see, feet are on the ground. Everything is nice. So that is very nice for me just sitting down. I can plug this in and play, obviously, unlike with Blade and Sorcery. So what I can do is I can get my phone, for example, put that on my knee so the gap in the headset, I can see what's what. I'm guessing that's where I am, that's where I need to be. What is this? Tutorial. Fighting. Oh, that's the tutorial. Fuck that. Approach by enemy waves. Unlimited weapons, normal shield. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Speaking of the headset, that is also. I swear some of these swords are just transferred over. Okie dokie. I'm guessing I will have to holster this at some point, which is not great. Come on. Okay. Get out of my sword. Oh, you. But yeah, this is kind of fun. I reckon it'd probably be a lot better personally with more people. You know, like with the multiplayer aspect, because I don't know about anybody else. I know that again, you know, Blade and Sorcery has its limits for certain things, but I personally have a little more. I wouldn't say fun, but I personally have a little more interest in doing, you know, like the Crystal Hunt dungeon style things in that. Maybe it's just I'm used to it a bit more, but who knows? Checking, I know. There we go. I've seen. Okay. Bug it off. I just bat that off. Edge alignment key. You have jaw protection. This motherfucker. A pair of bloody stooges. Honestly. Can I? I want to know if I could just sweep his legs out from under it. You know what? Get rid of you. There we are. Yeah, that seemed to go all right, all things considered. But yeah,
Come on. The goblins
okay,
don't
big
stand a
floaty
chance
hooded
against
man.
you. They're supposed to be as unknowing as ever. The door to
What?
the House of Witnesses has opened. I can feel
All
the
right.
temple connecting with you.
Um. Okay. Um. I mean, whatever floats your boat, mate. It's I'm guessing that's what he was talking about. But yeah, no. Ooh, cool. What are these? Battle Talent has officially been launched for 2 years now. Dev and mod team. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing that shield thing that I saw with the head on it. I think you, unless oh no, unless you, there are like challenges and stuff that you do here. That's nice. I, so anyway, this has been kind of interesting, at least. A lot of messing around, a lot of weirdness, I must say. Um, Definitely not the same. Okay. A lot of, uh, they are the builders of this. Okay, nice one. I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, I guess. Ooh, what is that? Throw assist. I have sight to throw faster. Okay. What? I okay. I'm a little. I'm not so confused. I'm just a little um lost in the moment here, I guess, because do I have to? Oh, how does this? How do I spawn this? Uh, I have no idea. Anyhow, so that was this. That was these two games. Ramble, ramble. Let's start a bit of a ramble. But yeah, I don't know what to um what to think of these. I've heard good things, and oh bloody hell, this menu is a pain in the ass. Really is a freaking pain. Oh my god. Right, okay. So, um, yeah, lost for words a little bit. Half in a good way, half in a sort of way. I think the mixed reality and the multiplayer experimental, obviously multiplayer, I'll have to maybe try and reach out and ask a couple of people I know about maybe trying this with me. Um, the challenge mode, we've tried the sandbox. Well, it's a sandbox. So I'll just kind of give my overall thoughts, I suppose, on both of these, and stick my headset on charge while I do. So the first game that we played, the Swordsman, um, that was probably one of those games that you'd want to play by yourself to, or at least for me, I'd say it's probably a game that I'd want to play by myself to just um, get some. Again, it feels weird saying skills because it's probably not the right word to use. But I don't know. It definitely feels like something that you could have a bit of fun with, um, as well as maybe a couple of scenarios where, again, a bit weird saying training because I don't think it's necessarily comparable to actual training in any sense. But it's nice that the first one was very nice to have as like an alternative to smacking the shit out of your fingers. Like we've all had those experiences, or at least I'd hope that uh, people have had these experiences where you're quite young, you're a kid, and you're just messing around, you're playing with some sticks or lightsaber toys or toy swords, things like that. It is definitely one of those games that would, I think, personally, get boring to stream or do videos with a lot. Obviously, the campaign, as you go through, it might be different, it might be engaging at certain points. I don't know. I will have to play that in my spare time. Like I say, I was going in blind on both of these. Um, so I had no idea what to expect. I'd seen a couple of things in terms of maybe what to expect for some of the mechanics or some of the main points of like the drawing uh, points. I don't know what words to use as that one, but I've seen a couple of things in regards to the potential positives for why someone may wish to play these games. Um, and the first one, the Swordsman, one of those was that the AI combat was a little better than what you'd expect in something like Blade and Sorcery, and there was a lot more focus involved in where are you going to strike, what are you going to do. I definitely think both of these games, because I saw that there was a player two option there. I don't know if that's a AI player two or if that's like a multiplayer option where a second person can join you in the game. I'll have to check. I'll have to test it. Because I probably send an invite. Um, if it lets me. I know at least one person that I could try that with. And obviously, if they're comfortable, um, maybe doing a stream or just a video in general. I can ask them about it. But yeah, no, it was very strange. Probably not the most entertaining of things to watch. Um, to be completely honest, there was a lot of me just kind of sat there focusing for the majority of it, making weird comments. It's definitely more entertaining watching me play something like Blade and Sorcery, I think, and it definitely felt more entertaining for me, just doing it. Something that I was a bit more engaged with. Uh, plenty of people have plenty to say about Blade and Sorcery in terms of the AI and the combat, yada yada yada. But realistically, it all comes down to how you feel about the game, how you feel playing it, and I might need to get used to those two. a bit more because I have played more Blade and Sorcery. But yeah, I do feel like both of those would benefit from other players. Like playing with somebody else because it is more of an arena-based type thing. And even though you've got the dungeon aspect in the second game, there, it was it was a bit strange. I'll admit it was a bit strange. It felt weird, and the menu systems were a bit. I'm not going to say dodgy, but the menu systems were a bit strange, at least for me to get used to. So, who knows? Uh, maybe later down the line, playing with them a bit more in my own free time. I mean, like with Blade and Sorcery, I was on that for about a week. I had some time off work, and I decided I was gonna mess around with it, and I was on it nearly every day for a week. Um, I've got some more time off coming up. Obviously, Christmas has just gone and whatnot. We'll be getting back to work fairly shortly, so I figured I'd take this opportunity to get a few streams done, a few things tested, if you will, especially with the OBS. But no, it was strange. Um, but obviously, I'm just going to refer to them. I mean, I'm trying to find the right words to use because they weren't bad games at all. They seemed quite. Um, some of it was intuitive, some of it wasn't. Um, but for the most part, it's a you grab a weapon, you hack and slash, and you go about your business. Obviously, the first one again a bit more technical in its execution of your enemies are not just gonna let you smack them. Um, that's not to say that they do in Blade Sorcery or the other game in this stream, but uh, obviously Battle Talent you had more of a um, it felt a bit more hack and slashy. It felt a little closer to Blade and Sorcery while still being its own separate thing. Um, I've heard that that game in particular can be a little bit more hardcore. I'm not sure why personally. Maybe it is just getting used to it and maybe getting to grips with the menus, getting to grips with the types of enemies. Obviously, I've only encountered maybe two or three types of enemies in Battle Talent. So it's not exactly like I've got a extremely in-depth understanding of how that all works, but it is definitely there was definitely a lot more that I found a little irritating, a little annoying about Battletown. Um, the menus, for one, every time you looked down at your wrist, whether it be by accident or otherwise, you had obviously on the left wrist you had your health and your mana bars. You had the actual settings and the teleport menus coming up. Um, and on the right wrist, you had the mod manager menu thing, or the cheats menu, I suppose, would probably be more accurate to call it. But no, it wasn't terrible, but those things were definitely annoying for me personally. But look at me sounding like I'm doing an actual review here. It's not necessarily a review, and I wouldn't have anybody necessarily trust my personal opinions over anybody else's, but I can only offer, my own experiences here. And I did say I'd give my thoughts. Um, you might not see a lot of those games, to be honest, at the moment. Like I say, I'll have to fiddle with them in my own free time first, get to grips with them a bit more, um, figure out what to do with them because I feel like, especially Swordsman, is more of a game that you might see in the background of a stream that is related to something else. So it would be like pre-recorded footage, and then that pre-recorded footage would get either edited together or just mashed up into different scenes, and then it would be played as it'd be streamed with like a separate voiceover that was streaming, like a using it. For example, if I was to use this microphone, um, and instead of having the capture source be the gameplay, it would be the media output of gameplay that I've already recorded. Um, Obviously, the other route I could go down with that is I could pre-record everything, edit it all together, and make shorter form videos with that, whether it be clips or whether it be just like 20, 30-minute videos a piece, with a bit of an idea in mind, like a goal or a task or a playthrough style kind of thing in mind. Good hell, excuse me. But yeah, I see that being more of a like swordsman's thing because again, when you're playing it, it feels like that kind of game that you either really need to be able to talk, and I know I can talk a fair bit, but it's one of those games where you have to be able to like multitask in that sense of being able to just chat absolute shit whilst being completely focused on something else. Otherwise, you do end up with moments of silence and it's just gameplay. And some people like that, some people don't. Me personally, I would prefer to be silly and daft and playful and not necessarily embody any sort of character per se, but I would prefer to be a bit of a numpty while playing these games and provide some sort of entertainment beyond just the watching of me kicking ass or more likely getting my ass kicked. Um, so it's one of those. As for Battle Talent, I can definitely see that being a bit closer to some of the videos, like some of the streams I've already done with Blade and Sorcery. I felt a bit more comfortable ranting, rambling, or just generally giving comments. A lot of the focus there was me trying to figure stuff out. I feel like once that disappears, once things have been figured out, once controls and menus and everything else has been worked through, it might end up being a lot closer to that kind of familiarity of me just being able to chat absolute nonsense while, you know, hacking and slashing at various different enemies, making comments, cracking jokes, maybe. I'm not saying I'm a funny guy personally, but I like to say absurd shit every now and then, and people find it funny. So I suppose in some way, shape, and form, that is some type of comedy, I guess. But it was. I definitely enjoyed it though. I definitely did enjoy it. Um, but I feel like I ended those fairly early, considering like I didn't play a lot of both of those, just because again there's a lot of figuring out to do, a lot of playing around, and a lot of trying to decide what to do in terms of what direction I'd like to go. I would maybe want to feature them again, either in a stream or a video of some kind. Um, but I have no idea as of yet what that might be. I'm definitely open to um, exploring other games as well, um, especially VR games. I do want to also maybe get into getting a few things. I've got the Xbox app on my laptop and I've got Steam as well. There's a couple of games I kind of want to play, but I haven't been able to, which has been really annoying. Because I had an idea for a potential video series or stream idea before, but that didn't happen because I wasn't able to actually load the bloody game. It was kind of a shame, really. But either way, I did enjoy that. Not as much at the moment. Again, just figuring stuff out. So I wasn't expected to have been blown away immediately. If I was, I mean, it definitely would have been something that I maybe played for a bit longer, maybe done more with. Um, but alas, that is not the case at this moment in time. After fiddling with it a bit, maybe I'll figure some stuff out and I'll come back and be like, hey, watch this. This is awesome. I wouldn't hold my breath on that though. But overall, and I've said a lot of mixed things, so I'll kind of break it down a little bit. So, like on point, swordsman. Um, the pros of that are, there's a lot of kind of technical aspects of the actual sword fight itself. You feel a little closer to um, the idea that you're actually having a sword fight. Unlike the idea of like Hollywood or pre-animated character animations, like those kind of things, you do feel like you're in there having an actual sword fight, and there is a bit of risk there. There is a bit of like if I parry this and go in for an attack, you do leave yourself open, but at the same time, if you rush in, you can end up stabbing yourself with the enemy sword, as you saw me do a few times there. Um, So I'd consider that a pro, because a lot of the sword fighting in a lot of games just does tend to be swing this around and smack the enemies with it as much as you can. Uh, but I do feel like having something that's a bit closer. I mean, it's not going to be 100% accurate at all, but something a bit closer maybe make you feel a little better about the combat itself, makes you engage a bit more, makes you think about how you're going to engage your opponent or how you're maybe going to try and excuse me, maybe going to try and parry um, certain attacks. For me, at least, I think that's a positive because there's a lot of games where you literally the whole point is just mindlessly run in, attack the shit out of something, and you're done. You don't even really need to think about it. But for certain aspects, I think that's necessary. Engage your brain, engage your body. One of the main kind of um, things to draw people into these kind of games is the physicality of it. I wouldn't say that it's a substitute for exercise necessarily, but um, it's definitely, being able to actually move and do these actions and get this sort of feel like you're there doing it is quite good. So to actually have the combat feel like you're there, like you're doing it, is also, it adds to that experience, the immersion of it. But the con, again, because of the fact that it is something that you have to maybe think about, again, it could potentially get boring. With it being like an arena style game, it would be very good for that kind of element of, you want something to do, you want to get physical, but you don't want to really do much, but you also feel like maybe, fuck it, I'll stick this on and have a fight a couple of people sort of thing. I don't know exactly who comes home and thinks, fuck it, I'll fight somebody, but it's that idea that you can just put it on and do that. But for video purposes, for streaming, I think it would get quite boring. Um, and the repetitiveness of it, in terms of having that be arena style waves of enemies, even if it's just one or two at a time coming at you. Once you've done it like maybe even 10, 20 times, it does feel like, oh, well, what's the point in keeping on going? I know what to expect. Obviously, having boss fights to break that up, or even in like story elements, would be quite nice. Um, Obviously, the Blade and Sorcery, um, for me at least, the leveling up, getting all the crystals and doing those bosses, and again, it is very repetitive, but in my opinion, it feels a bit more rewarding. So even though you are just grinding a bunch of, dungeon fights and boss fights, there's a bit more of a rewarding element to it. Um, Now, I'm not saying there isn't in Swordsman, because I've only done like the tutorial and like maybe like the first little bit, that level one section, that very first level on there. So there weren't that many enemies. There was maybe two or three enemies in that, and I don't know if there will be. I think there's boss fights in that one as well, and other things that you can do. But I see potential, but at the same time, there's a bit of a potential doubt, let's say, as to how entertaining I can personally be um, whilst playing that. It might just be one of those games that speaks for itself in terms of why someone might, potentially watch or even play that game. I don't know. Again, I'll have to fiddle with it. So now, Battle Talent, the pros of that for me was that, the style, the the kind of the weapons themselves, that they didn't feel too clunky swinging them around. Um, the dungeons did seem like you could have a fair bit of fun. Like it's not just waves and waves coming at you. You have to kind of move and explore a little bit, and then you enter these like arena rooms where you do get enemies just coming at you. And then once you've killed them all, you move on to the next section of the dungeon. In terms of the adventure stuff, uh, I feel like it'd be very similar. Obviously, I did the sandbox stuff. I'm not so sure. I mean, the sandbox elements in Blade and Sorcery. I know I keep comparing them, and it's a bit unfair to compare and contrast because they're very different games. Um, but because of those similar elements, I can't help but feel like, in terms of my own experiences and in terms of certain mechanics, that there is a point to be made with certain comparisons between those. So, with that being said, like I was saying, it's that idea of those dungeons maybe getting repetitive in terms of at least the idea, the premise. But I feel like with Battle Talent, especially, it does boast a fully procedural or fully dynamic set of dungeons in terms of you will never get the same one twice. However, with that being said, um, I think they said that there's a fair few enemy types as well. Like I can't remember exactly how many, but there's a lot of different enemy types. Um, but after a while, you will be like, oh well, this is this, and obviously I only did a very short little playtest type thing there, and because of probably the level that I was at, playing a lot like lower level initial stages of those, um, either the dungeon crawling type experience or the adventure style experience. It might get more like progressively difficult with different, excuse me, with different types of enemies later on. But there, there are a lot of goblins, a lot of skeletons, uh, and it does show promise. Again, with same as Swordsman, there is potential there for various different things. So I'll try and maybe progress a little bit further. So you might not see a lot of this um, until maybe way later on, because I feel like I need to progress a lot further. But initial thoughts are positive overall, but the cons for Battle Talent. quite similar um, in the repetitiveness of the basic idea. And I wouldn't consider it a con, but for both of them, I would say that those games would benefit, in my opinion, from having other people present. You know, I know that Battle especially, there is a multiplayer option in like beta. I think it said like it's still being tested, but you can go in there with friends. Me personally, I don't know a lot of people with um, the like VR headsets that I can potentially say, "Hey, do you want to test this with me?" And even if I did, it's that idea that I don't have all that much in terms of free time, and I'm not going to pester anyone else that also doesn't have that much in terms of free time. But yeah, it is definitely something worth exploring for both of them, which I've probably said in a roundabout way, maybe 7 or 8 times now, because I do want to get the point across that these are not bad games or that I didn't enjoy my experiences. I did, um, but I want to be fair in the respect of being able to actually say, oh, well, I didn't like this or I didn't like that. And those menus, honestly, if I could change one thing for sure about Battletown, it would be how those menus work. Because I get the idea, but it again, look, he's going to compare it to fucking Blade and Sorcery again. But in that game, you've got the pause menu type thing where you can pull up your settings and everything else. That would be nice to be able to click a pause button, for example, and see all of that, as well as your mods and your cheats and everything else all in one menu by accessing, the pause button or something. Um, Instead of that whole thing, or if it was on the wrist, maybe in a similar sense as like your inventory system in Blade and Sorcery, that like chest thing you hold the trigger and it pulls out like that orb looking thing. Maybe like that, you've got the shiny bit on your wrist, you click the trigger and you physically hold it, and then you can navigate with the other controller and select whatever you wanted to select, and maybe that would work on both. But then again, I'm probably just not as used to it. Maybe there's a way of changing that in the settings somewhere, but that's just my off the cuff um, first impressions of both games. You'll probably see a lot more Blade Sorcery before I do too much with both of those. But with that being said, um, there's definitely potential. So, I know I've rambled a little more than I really wanted to be honest, which is surprising coming from me. I know that. But with that being said, um, I will more than likely be doing another stream later. Probably won't be this. I know I said that last time, but it didn't end up happening. But I feel like this is a good way to sort of start things out. Like, I've said it before, I don't expect any of this to really take off. To be honest, I'm just kind of trying to blow off steam, enjoy myself, get some of my thoughts out there a little bit, but obviously not too much. We don't want to get too controversial. But no, I'm gonna try and do a bit more of this at some point in terms of if I see any games that I like or like the look of, um, especially when it comes to VR, Steam, the Xbox app, even just like PC type, just download it obviously from a trusted source, mind you, not from any weird random fucking back alley website, But do a bit more of that because I do feel like if I limit myself too much in terms of just VR or just PlayStation, or just Xbox, um, it's going to be one of those things where I don't feel like I'm enjoying myself as much anymore, and it'll get to a point where it's more about not necessarily the algorithm or anything like that, but it's more about falling into a niche of, oh, it's this game or this game that I play all the bloody time. And I know I've streamed a lot of Blade and Sorcery recently, but I mean, it is fun for me to play. I do have fun playing it. So either way, I don't want to get stuck into playing just one or two different things all the time. The problem is time. Um, Not so much anymore, but still kind of money as well. Um, it's one of those. It's just finding somewhere to fit it in. Again, it's more for enjoyment, more for blowing off steam. I don't want to feel like it's a chore getting it done. Um, I don't want it to feel like I'm obligated to put these out all the time. And you will more than likely notice when I have free time, there will be a lot more of them just because I can. Um, but we'll see. Things are changing a lot in the next year or so, and free time might be not as not as big, not as much, not as frequent at certain points. So I'm just trying to enjoy myself while I can, really. I mean, it sounds very ominous when I say it like that, but no, it is one of those situations where I'm trying to just get some things done while I can, while I've got the time, while I've got the energy. But yeah, with that being said, and I've rambled a lot, but with that being said, I will be cutting this off very shortly. But um, it does seem like there may be some promise in these games. Playing them back to back like that might not have been the best thing to do for just a general playing experience, but I will maybe do a follow up to this for each. So I'll just focus on swordsman, and then I'll just focus on battle talent. And I'm not going to fuck about with the sandbox bollocks. Honestly, it's sandboxes are good for getting the feel of things, but once you're in the game, you want to just get on with it, you know. So there will more than likely be a follow up to this at some stage. I have no idea precisely when that'll be, um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, you never know. This might do terrible. I mean, it's not like I'm expecting hundreds and hundreds of views on this, but it is one of those. If I think it's decent enough to do a follow up, I'll do a follow up. If not, if I think it's dog shit, you might only see this available for viewing for a little while, and then I might get bored of it and set it to private and keep it archived for potential clips or other videos later because I don't feel like deleting it would be um like I don't like deleting streams or videos that I do. I like to just set them to private. That way I can still use them if I need to for any clips or context or anything else that I might do with other projects later. But you never know. This video might disappear essentially if I don't like it that much. But hopefully not, because it's one of those. Even the bad experience. Not that this has been a bad experience for me, but even the videos that aren't as good, in my opinion, should still be there to kind of learn from. So who knows? One thing I do want to try and do. Says he's going to stop shortly and then carries on. Yeah, I know, shut up. But one thing I want to try and do maybe before all of this is get some other projects done. upload those. Maybe do a bit more editing. I've said this before I think it was the last stream I did or the stream before, but it's just one of those. I've got to find the time for it. I've got to be, for lack of a better term, and to sound like a bit of a twat, I need to be in the mood for it because it is a hobby. It is something I want to do for fun. It is something that I want to do and enjoy. I don't want it to feel like an obligation or a job, or I've got a job, um, and as much as people don't tend to really enjoy their day jobs as much, and I'm not saying that I'm exempt from that group. Um, I'm not exactly treating this like a replacement by any means, especially since I'd need to actually be, I don't know, making money from this to consider it a possibility at any point, of which I am not. So, but yeah, I understand people do, and it works very well for them. But I think a lot of those people do focus on like chasing the algorithm, chasing trends. Not to say that they're bad at what they do. Some of them really good, but anyway, back to the point. Maybe a follow up, maybe not. We shall see. But in the meantime, um, hopefully, this kind of thing in terms of testing or seeing what I personally feel about certain games. Um, I might be able to find some like more indie type games, but I don't want to do the same thing that everybody else does. Jumping on the same trends, the same games, the same bandwagons. I want to maybe find some obscure stuff for myself if I can, even if they're absolutely terrible. Yeah. No offense to the potential future developers of these games. Um, but no, even if they're um, really, really bad, technically speaking, maybe not like as an experience in terms of on this channel, but even if they're games that leave a lot to be desired, um, I'd maybe want to find some indie stuff to look at and see what's what. I know that a lot of people do that sort of thing, but I feel like having those like obscure games that not a lot of people have heard of or that people don't know about. Um, those are where some of the fun really happens. Because I mean, I could sit down and do my Doom playthroughs, like I've said, that I want to try and do at some point. But at the same time, I don't want to jump on the hype of games that are just coming out. Because I know that a lot of people do rely on the hype of certain games to push out playthrough series and let's plays. Um, but that's the idea of wanting to keep on top of things, wanting to you know gain some momentum and be excuse me and try and be oh bloody hell excuse me and try and keep things a little relevant in terms of the stuff that they're playing. Whereas again, if this is something that I want to do for fun, I don't want to fall into the pit trap of only playing things that I think are going to be popular. Because again, the real fun for me happens in some of the obscure moments. And I mean, the only reason I even got like Blade and Soul because that was at one point on YouTube, it was all you'd see for a while in terms of like VR content. But it was. I mean, and Bone Labs. I think is it Bone Labs or is it Bone Works? I think it's Bone Labs. Um, but that as well, you'd see a lot of that, and I know that especially if you've seen channels like like Krusty doing his Hitman VR, um, things like that. I don't want to try and emulate or copy anybody by any means, but I do think that this is a fun experience. I have enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily been a review of any particular sort, but I do like the idea of finding games that I like the look of, um, buying them or downloading them, or both. I mean, no point just buying it if it's something that you've got to pay for. You've got to download it as well. Um, and just giving my honest, genuine thoughts. Maybe I'll make a playlist if I do this sort of thing over and over. Um, and I'll sort of keep. I'm thinking of keeping these as a stream based thing. Like the reviews. Um, or reviews. I'm already calling them reviews for fuck's sake. No, these sort of give my thoughts type videos. Because then you really get to see, if there is any major jank with the game itself, you get to see that. If there are any technical difficulties, obviously that's where editing really helps. You can kind of just get rid of the audio, like, oh, the audio don't match up, I'll just realign it, in post, or oh, this part was I'm just dead silent staring at a wall for 10 minutes. You can kind of get away with that in editing. That those are the things that you'd like to have editing for. But I feel like having these sort of videos, this style, this format as a stream is definitely something, or at least very minimally edited, um, is probably something that I might continue with. Um, Especially since I'd like to do more edited style content. It's something that I would enjoy making. Um, the problem is again time and energy. Um, the effort and the motivation's there. It's just having the actual time to get footage, record audio, potentially gather any clips, sounds, anything else that I might need, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, uh, it's the time primarily. I thought I'd have a bit more time to do that sort of thing, even after I started working at the place I am now. But unfortunately, it just doesn't feel that way. Um, I could probably manage my time better, don't get me wrong, but it definitely feels like I don't have a lot of time to do that sort of thing, especially with everything else that's, like I say, changing in the next year or so. Well, who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see what the future holds, and we'll figure some shit out. But I have been rambling and raving for way too long, and I already said I'd shut the fuck up. So, to follow through on that promise, I'm shutting the fuck up. I will see you in the next one. Bye.